We were a collective long before we became individuals. We believe "and" is so much more than joining of words, but a joining of worlds. A journey started with two friends to be continued together.
Remember, baby, in every part, you carry pieces of my heart.
Nast is now B Corp certified. And even though there is still progress to be made, we believe that each step is a reason to celebrate.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Firstly, thank you so much to Kenneth and the Fashion Asia team for hosting this wonderful event, and to my good friend Desiree at Vogue. It's been such a pleasure to visit Hong Kong for the first time. So I'm delighted to be here with the formidable Zephyr.
Nice to meet you already today. Thank you for having me today.
So we are going to be discussing really, the Western brands coming into Asia and being relevant and successful. So we have ba&sh has been operating for 7 years in Asia with over 65 stores. So first question, with ba&sh being so successful, what do you think are the critical cultural nuances Western brands must adhere to be successful in this region?
Okay, so when we first entered Asia 7 years ago, ba&sh were recognized by a lot of consumers that we have very beautiful dresses. So I would take dress, for example. The European and in the US customers, they often buy a ba&sh dress for occasionals. Like they have a lot of parties, a lot of weddings to go. You have a lot of dress code on a lot of occasions. So ba&sh were known in the Westerns for providing a lot of occasional dress options. So, like they spend a lot of money with ba&sh with their occasional dress wardrobes. Whereas in Asia, especially, in mainland China, that people don't have these many events to go. Even we don't have a dress code. I mean, you have a dress code and invitation, but you don't have to respect it. So in a way, right? So we find the consumers here, they buy with ba&sh more on their daily wardrobe, that they wear it for work, they wear it for the weekends. So from a product perspective, it means that we have to twist it a little bit, our offering, in terms of all the categories to make sure a consumer come to a ba&sh store in Asia, she can find what she wants for her daily wear, for getaway with her friends at the weekends. So we are at the same brand, but like, for example, in the Western world, in the Parisian store, you would find a lot of maxi, sexy dress with a lot of cutout. That's our best sellers in France. But here, we have the same print, but it could be a commercial midi shape with a less deep V shape at the V-neck that you could wear on a daily basis. You could put a blazer on, and it's a perfect daily wear. So I think for a lot of brands, I mean, speaking from ba&sh perspective, that we have to tailor-made to what the consumers in this market want to put their money on. So I think this is the first thing I would like to mention. I think the second of all, the calendars here is quite different. Like you have Thanksgivings, right? Now it's Black Fridays, right? Christmas, all these things. But here we have Chinese New Year, for example. There are, especially in China, you have Chinese creative festivals, shopping festivals, like the 520, the Chinese Valentine's Day, like Double 11. So we have a lot of local calendar we have to answer to. So to make sure that the brand can be commercial and has a relatively successful business, you have to make sure your product and buying strategy and your promotion and marketing strategy are resonated with the local calendar. So I think that's most two different paths from the Western world for ba&sh.
Great.
Yes.
And with the rise of domestic Asian premium fashion brands, how can Western brands differentiate and maintain a competitive edge?
Speaking about competition, I have to say, personally, I think, after visiting all over the world, I think perhaps mainland China are the most competitive market, speaking of women's ready-to-wear in our price point. So you have the brand all over the world, from France, from Italy, from UK, from the US, from Japan, for example. But you also have a lot of what we call a local Chinese brand. So, I mean, the competition in mainland China could be twice of the competition in the US or in France, for example. Okay, so I think, because the competition is so competitive, so the brand has to be find its own way. So first thing first, I think you have to be who you are in this market. You can't change for anyone. Like ba&sh is French styles, French chic, feminine. We have to maintain this style. We have to be making sure we express accurately what ba&sh is to a local Asian consumer. That's the first thing we need to do. But with all this, of course, with all these challenges, for example, we have to answer to it. Especially, for example, I think a lot of, especially this year when the market is soft, a lot of Chinese brand, I think they're quite advanced in terms of their smart and flexible supply chain. So, for example, if you have a good blazer, like it's your top seller, generate a lot of your sales, they can reorder, replenish it maybe in 2 to 4 weeks time. Whereas for us, as a Western brand, we have a global supply chain. If we want to reorder, maybe we will have it in 3 months' time, where you won't sell it again. It's not the same season. So I think this challenge is actually currently huge. Currently, we're trying to find a solution with the headquarters, but unfortunately, we don't have it yet, in this market. So this is a huge competition that we're facing with local competitions nowadays. I hope someone could have a solution, but it seems that it's not that easy nowadays.
No,
right.
the difference between 2 weeks and 3 months is astronomical.
It's huge.
Yes, that's incredible.
Yes.
And how can Western brands or premium fashion brands adapt their marketing and their retail experiences to resonate more within the Asian regions for the consumers here?
I think the marketing, because I'm taking care of the Asian region, for example, actually each of the countries or regions have a quite different marketing strategy. But of course, the most unique is mainland China, because a lot of social media from the Western world are blocked in China. So in China, we have its own what we call ecosystem for social media, right? So for example, we have Red, equivalent to more or less Instagram. We have a WeChat, not equivalent to anybody, in a way. Weibo, and the Douyin equivalent to TikTok. So basically, I think it's challenging for international brand like us. Of course, we get content bank from the headquarters, but you have this much social media to take care of. How could you allocate your budget? And you could do a smart social media strategy on top of it. How can you generate a local content based on each platform and make it successful? The competition is huge here. So I think the social media perspective is a good topic for every Western brand if they want to come to China. But of course, you've already been well known to a lot of Chinese brands, maybe it's easier. Second of all, I think in terms of, I think it's important still here, like PR, very, very important. Not only the celebrity strategy, but also which kind of content you create with your celebrity. Like we work with Jagger from a global campaign, but still, like a sizable of our consumer don't know who she is. You might find her familiar, but you don't know who she is, you don't know what she do. So we have to do a local, what we call a PR strategy, to make sure that we adapt to the local consumers. For example, we use Aura, one of the actress, very good actress who is known for French styling. So when our customers see, oh, you use Aura, it seems to be a perfect match. We know that we did things right about it, right? So I think as a Western brand, you have to be able to think smartly how to use your local budget to do a great PR strategy with, you can do ambassador or not, but on a day-to-day basis, like which kind of celebrities you work with to have people know you, through the celebrity. Like you may know this celebrity, if she wears your brand, you want this customer to be realize, oh, this is this brand that this celebrity is wearing. And of course, which kind of content you want to create with your celebrities as well. So I think the PR part is still very important. You have to use someone that is really the right person that is answering to the DNA of your brand. But at the same time, the people you want to reach out can recognize her in a way. The last but not least is what we call the retail marketing part, the retail experiences, the events you do in store. For example, if you go, we just opened a Soho flagship store in New York. Basically, it's drinks, canopies, pizzas, and you have all these people, hang there for the whole night. But unfortunately, when we do something like that here, the consumer seems to be more inward. A drink does not open them up. Okay. No, they don't walk around with a drink, So we have to be able to create a lot of moments for them in store. They can sit down and do something. So normally we do like what we call a DIY session. So basically you provide something. For example, for Chinese New Year, you could do like maybe a Chinese flower set. For Christmas, you do something like a DIY for for Christmas ring, something like that. So you have to provide them with something. They're busy with their hand, so they will invite their families, or even some of our customers bring their kid to the store. Then when they sit there, it gives me a chance to talk with them, So it give us a chance to let her know who is ba&sh, and they want to, probably in the future, they will put more budget with us when she think of her budget. I think the marketing part here, especially in mainland China, are quite complicated because a lot of things are quite different from the Western. It's very challenging. It's very costly. Perhaps it's the most expensive market to do marketing nowadays. So I think this is a big topic for a lot of new brand if they want to come in. Think wisely. Like you need to come to this market with a sizable budget on the marketing part.
Be able to break through with the right type of talent.
Right, yes, talent, exactly. Of course. That's another huge topic.
Yes,
right?
Of course.
Yes.
And how do you balance maintaining a consistent global identity with adapting to the local market identity and the local market preferences?
Okay, so this is a little bit about the calendar thing I was talking about too. For example, we celebrate Chinese New Year. This is the most most important festival for a lot of Asians. So, for example, we have the whole core collection, but at the same time, we will talk with our headquarter design team. We'll say, you know what, can Asia has a few exclusive capsules at a certain period of time. So we have this core collection to maintain the same image all over the globe. But at the same time, we answer to the local consumers. We tell, you know what, we care about you. We know what you think, So now we have sort of a rule settled with our global team that we have 2 capsules each year. One is the Chinese New Year moment. Another moment would be actually the beginning of September when we launch for winter. We call it Asia luxury line, okay? So, but the role between the 2 teams here and there is that our responsibility is to tell them what the consumers are, why we need this collection, which kind of things we need from this collection, what other competitions are doing at this moment in this market, who are we competing with, like which kind of sort of a product assortment plans we want to have. Here, and we give them a lot of photos, a lot of profiles of customers for them to vision. You are designing a collection for this group of customers at this certain time. So then the team there would be starting from collection plan, sketches, a lot of discussions, weekly discussions. Then we make it happen. So and then one of the topic we talk is also these capsule. When you put it on the floor with my main core collection at the time, for example, it's my story one when you do Chinese New Year period, it has to be the same story. In terms of shapes, in terms of the stories you want to tell for the season. So the designing team are making sure we are telling the whole story. It's just on these 2 racks. This is for Asian customers for their Chinese New Year. So it's a collaboration. I think it's so important to keep that communication.
And you were saying as well, it's so important for the head office to come over and visit the market and really get the the consumers under their skin as well.
Right. It's very important. So it's actually the first team came to Asia after the pandemic.
Really? Okay.
Yes, the product team. Of course, they have a few factories they have a visit as well. So it's like, I think they came in the winter. So so they look at what people wear around, and you see our customers. They went to the stores. They talk to our customers, with translations, of course. So they know pretty much why we need this, something
so
like that. Yes.
And how do you anticipate Asian consumer style and their taste evolving across the various demographics that you serve, from Gen Z to Gen Alpha?
Asian consumer, I think, we're quite open-minded consumers, okay? Willing to learn, willing to always see new things happening, and willing to try, okay? So I think it's in the blood. The good thing is, if you do things right, it's easy for them to. The better part about it is that, you don't often. So the loyalty of the customer quite a big problem for you if your competitions are doing a better job than you. So for example, I think each of the brand here would have a loyalty program, try to maintain the customers so you know who they are from your database, so you can do a life cycle management with them through your system. You could give them special something at the special moment, like a birthday, like an anniversary of their membership. You could do a lot of things to make sure that you connect with them, from a CRM perspective. But at this time of the year, I would say we would all align that this market is quite soft, especially in the year 2024. What we see from our consumers is they are more demanding. Of course, when you have less budget, your pocket to spend, especially on your wardrobe, you want to be more demanding on what you buy, which brand you buy, first of all. So we want to be in their selections of the brand, and even they come back to our store, we can see a lot of even our top consumers, they are buying a little bit less than previous seasons. But I think the most important thing we're seeing from this year is no matter loyal customers or new customers, I think they want something more creative. They want more newness and creativity from us. Perhaps, we will do a consumer sort of survey in different markets to try to prove our concepts. But we feel that because they have a lot of things in their wardrobe already, they really want something different than before. So it's actually challenged our buying strategy. We used to buy to make sure we have a healthy stock leftovers. We used to buy very conservatively in a way, that we put a sizable budget of our buying into styles that we know for sure we sold in the past and we will sell in the future. It's a similar style. But this year, all the data show us, we're wrong. The consumer is looking for something that's only happening for the first season in the store. So I see with the market that's softening, the ba&sh consumers are definitely looking for something new from us. They are expecting more from us. It becomes more demanding. So I think it's a challenge to design team, and also to the buying strategy that we put in Asia. Yes.
A bit more experimental. And there's something you said, that your buyers need to be fortune tellers to be able to keep up with that pace of that.
This is my joke.
Newness.
When your retail team fight with your merchandising team, I have to see someone in the between say, it's not easy to be doing the buying nowadays. It has to be a fortune teller. You have styles you don't sell before, now it sells like crazy.
And you were saying as well about the entry-priced goods, basically how, the share of more entry-priced items is going up, which is more of a reflection of the software. Maybe you could expand on that a little bit.
Our strategy is a little bit different. So we keep the core, for example, but with the traffic softening in all the stores that we've been seeing in Asia, all the stores, okay? So we have to make sure we have, for example, I told you the Asia luxury line. We have to make sure we have something that is, of course, is higher in price, but also it provides the value. It has the best cashmere yarn. It has good fabrication. It has a nice color that what Aura is wearing. So for those what we call the high ticket point but high value items, we want to maintain the good customers of ba&sh to come to store. But at the same time, we have to expand the portion of what we call entry price point. Like you buy a pair of jeans with ba&sh, or you buy a shirt with ba&sh, it's entry price of ba&sh. We have to add the variety of that entry price point categories into our full selection to make sure we can still keep attracting a new customer. Well, that's what important, right? We cannot always count on the loyalty customers to do business. We have to make sure we have a certain share, a big share of the business always coming from new customers. Then we have a group of new customers become our repeated customers next year. So the strategy for us to answer in the softer market is we have a much clearer product strategy in terms of price to answer to different segment of our customers. In a way, yeah.
Well, we have hit time. So
okay, all right.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wishing you all the success. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Thank you.